हाँ.
Okay. Today I'm going to discuss about a class. Okay, it is again, it's a very important, it's a important whoops concept we can say. Yes, can anybody tell me what exactly class is?
Class is nothing but the collection of objects and method.
Class is nothing but a collection of
Objects.
and methods. Okay.
It does not take any space on memory.
Okay.
There are two types of classes, that is predefined class and user defined class. In predefined class, already classes are defined, and a user defined class, we have to define a class.
Okay. Yes, Siddesh, do you remember anything?
No, sir.
No? Okay. See, I will tell you here in very simple words. Shweta, you discuss the class in the programmatical way. I will show you what exactly the concept behind the class. Okay.
Okay.
So very simply, I can say about a class is it's a user defined data type. It's a user defined data type. Okay, so that means what? It is a data type. It is a data type, but it's a user defined because user will going to create the class. So your class is acts as the data type. So I said here, class is a user defined data type which serves as which we can say which serves as serves as serves as a template, which serves as a template, or I can say mold, which serves as a template, or I can say mold, or we can say structure for creating multiple objects, for creating multiple, I can say just for creating multiple objects having similar type. See, this is very important. Similar type. See, this is what the very simple definition I said here. Class is a user defined data type which serves as a template, which serves as a mold, or which serves as a structure for creating multiple objects having a similar type. Having a similar type. So for example, I can simply say, if you guys know, like आपल्याकडे दिवाळीमध्ये तुम्ही महिला मंडळ करंजा बनवता, बरोबर ना? कशा बनवता करंजा? श्वेता सांगते का?
नाही माहित मला.
करंजी बनवायचं नाही माहित तुला?
नाही, मी नाही बनवल्यात.
ओके, आय विल टीच यू. सी, जेव्हा करंजा बनवतात ना, तर तेव्हा त्याचं काहीतरी ते सगळं जे गोड मटेरियल वगैरे तर ते बनवलं जातं सेपरेट. ओके, त्याच्यानंतर जेव्हा ऍक्च्युअल बनवायला जातात ना, तर तेव्हा कणकेचा गोळा करून त्याची चपाती लाटली जाते छोटीशी, आणि ती चपाती त्या करंजी बनवण्याचा एक साचा असतो. ओके, तर त्या साच्यावरती ठेवली जाते आणि नंतर ते जे काही मटेरियल बनवलेलं आहे स्वीट मटेरियल ते त्याच्यामध्ये टाकून पॅक केलं जातं, आणि पॅक केल्याच्या नंतर असं त्याला बाजूने दाबून त्याला हलकेचा तो साचा काढला जातो आणि आतून हलकासा तुम्हाला काय निघतो? तुमची करंजी निघते. मग त्या साच्यामधून जेवढ्या करंज्या काढल्या जातात त्या सगळ्यांची साईज सेम असते. त्या साच्यामधून जेवढ्या करंज्या काढल्या जातात त्या सगळ्यांचा डिझाईन सेम असतं. ओके, सो दॅट साचा इज नथिंग बट आय कॅन से क्लास. दॅट साचा इज नथिंग बट अ क्लास ऑर अ टेम्पलेट. और इन अनदर वर्ड्स, आपल्याकडे बघा पुण्यामध्ये काय असतं की गणपती खूप फेमस आहे, बरोबर की नाही? तर मग गणपती कसा बनवला जातो? तर सेम अशाच पद्धतीने काय केलं जातं बघा. समजा मान के चल की, और आय कॅन जस्ट से अजून लाईक, हा एक गणपतीचा साचा आहे. हा काय गणपतीचा साचा, मी याला डायरेक्ट मराठीमध्ये असं साचा, किंवा त्याला काय म्हणतो मी, टेम्पलेट म्हणतो. त्याला काय म्हणतो मी, टेम्पलेट, किंवा त्याला मोल्ड म्हटलं जातं. त्याला काय म्हटलं जातं, मोल्ड. ओके, तर हा एक गणपतीचा साचा आहे. हा ऍक्च्युअल गणपती नाहीये. ओके, याच्यात काय केलं जातं, लिक्विड फॉर्मॅटमध्ये प्लास्टर ऑफ पॅरिस टाकलं जातं. लिक्विड फॉर्मॅटमध्ये प्लास्टर ऑफ पॅरिस. नो डाऊट प्लास्टर ऑफ पॅरिसचे गणपती हे एन्व्हायरमेंट साठी चांगले नाहीत, आपण फक्त एक्झाम्पल म्हणून तो घेतोय. तर प्लास्टर ऑफ पॅरिस लिक्विड फॉर्मॅटमध्ये याच्यामध्ये टाकतो, आणि नंतर थोडा वेळ सुकल्याच्या नंतर आपण काय करतो, तो साचा हलकासा काढला की आपल्याला एक गणपती मिळतो. हा जो गणपती असतो तर तो एक्झॅक्टली कोणासारखा असतो, एक्झॅक्टली तो साच्यासारखाच असतो. तो एक्झॅक्टली कोणासारखा असतो, साच्यासारखा. म्हणजे व्हॉट एव्हर द गणपती यू हॅव क्रिएटेड फ्रॉम दिस साचा, that will look like exactly we can say sacha. Okay, then if I created another one ganpati from same sacha, again it will be look like exactly same. Okay, जितने भी गणपति हम बनाएंगे उस साचे से, जितने भी गणपति हम बनाएंगे उस साचे से, all the ganpatis will have a same structure. So I can write this G1 ganpati. Okay, or here this is the G2 Ganpati, and here a G3 Ganpati. So all the Ganpatis which I have created from this sacha, all these Ganpatis which I created from the sacha, having the same size, the same structure. Okay, and that is similar with this sacha or a template or a mold. Okay, so in a programming world, this sacha is nothing but a class. This sacha is nothing but a class, and all these G1 and G2 and G3, all these are called as objects. All these are called as objects. All these are called as object. That means what? That means what? We create a class. But as you said, actual memory is not get allocated. As you created the class, actual memory is not allocated. So when memories get allocated, so memory is get allocated when we create objects. When we create objects of that particular class type. So this is what exactly we can say about the class and the objects here. So programmatically, if we have to go for creating a class, we can write like this one. See, class. Okay, and we have the class name. So I just use class is a keyword. Okay, and a class name, you can give any user defined name, and we have the opening and closing bracket over here. So class name, opening bracket and a closing bracket. So this is what we consider as a body of a class. This is what we consider as a body of the class. So what will be there in the class? So basically in the class, we have the data members. Or we call it as the properties. We have the data members, or we call it as a properties. Okay, data member or a properties. And then here actually we have the methods. With the body we always put with the body. Okay, with the body like this one. Okay, rest of the things are there, but currently we are not going to see that. We can see later. So basically we have the two very important things in the class. One is the data members or a properties, and there is another one, methods with the body. methods with the body. So these data members and methods together we call it as the members of a class. Data member and methods together we call it as the members of a class. So I just put here a note. Note. Yes, data members and methods present in a class are together called as members of a class. Both are called as the members of a class. So in a real world, if we have to go for that, we can consider, like, for example, I can just write a class as an employee. And in that one I can write the properties of an employee. Yesterday we have discussed about the employee. So employee have the data members. So what are the data members? Yes, or the properties of the employee class. So I can write here integer, we can say employee ID, integer employee ID. Then we have the string employee name. Okay, then we have the double, we have the salary. So these all together we can call it as the data members of a class. These are the data members, or we call it as the properties. And then below we can put a methods. So methods always put like this one, public. I just put it a void, and here I can write the method name. I just put it a get data. I'm not going to put any logic over here. I just put it empty. Okay, then I can have another method, public void. Okay, and I do have one method, display. Okay, in that display method, again I will put the logic to display the record. So this is what I can say. This is my declaration of a class. This is what I can say. This is the declaration of a class. Is it screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is what we call it as the declaration of the class. So class name. Okay, remember class name should be always start with a capital letter. So that is what the naming standard. This class is a keyword. This is class name. You can give any name. And then I have put the members over here. So all these are called as a data members. I just put it in the comment, data members. These are the data members. And whatever below I put it, all these are the methods. We can say methods. So what I put it over here in the class, okay, syntax, I just said here that within a class, I can have a data members and a methods. So both data member and a method together we call it as the members of a class. So employee ID, name and a salary with a get a data and a display. These are the members of a class, we can say. Okay, but very important thing I can say over here. Okay, that, okay, I can say again a note, another one note, that when we declare a class, actual memory is not allocated. Actual memory is not allocated. So when we are writing this one, class name, okay, and in that one, so memory is not allocated. Okay, so when memories get allocated, memories get allocated when we create we create a object of a class. When we create a object of a class. So when we have declared the class, memory have been not allocated. But as we create object of a class, memory is allocated. Again, very important thing. Okay, I can say this is what the note 1. Okay, and we have the second note for this one. We have the second note for this one is that when we create object, when we create a object, it allocate memory for only data members. Memory for only data members. That means what? It can allocate the memory for employee ID. It can allocate the memory for name. It can allocate the memory for salary. It can allocate the memory for salary. Then when the memory will be get allocated for methods, when the memory for method will be get allocated, so we can say memory for method is allocated when we invoke that method for execution. When we invoke that method for execution, that means what? Whenever the execution control comes to the get data, whenever the execution control come for the get data, memory for get data will be get allocated, and it is released automatically when the execution of this method will be done. Okay. Similarly, when execution control come for the display, memory is allocated for the display, and as the execution of a display is done, this memory is been get deleted. So memory which is been allocated for the method, it is a temporary memory. But as I said, when we declare a class, memory is not allocated, but it is been allocated when we create object. But when we create object, it allocates the memory for all the data members. That is little dynamic memory, we can say. It is a dynamic memory. That means what? That will persist in the memory until it is not been deleted. Okay, so memory for get data and put data is automatically get deleted as execution is done. But memory for employee ID, name and salary will be not deleted automatically. It will be there. It is the dynamic memory. Okay, as it is the object, so it is the dynamic memory, and the dynamic memory is deleted by the garbage collector in the Java. Okay, I will show you what exactly the garbage collector, how the garbage collection will work. But you guys have to remember that this memory will be not deleted immediately. But this memory will be get deleted immediately as execution of that method is done. So I said here about that when we declare a class, memory is not allocated. Okay, memory is allocated when we create an object of a class. Okay, but when we create an object of a class, memory is allocated only for the data members, not for the methods. Memory for methods is allocated when we invoke that method. That means what? Execution control comes to that method, and it is been automatically get deleted. As the execution of that method is done. So here you guys can observe that class is not useful until we have not created the object of that class. Class is not useful until we have not created the object of that class. So creation of object is very important. Likewise, when we have the Ganpati's Sacha, when we have the Ganpati's mold, okay, so only that mold is not important, or that Sacha is not important until we have not created the Ganpatis, because we never goes to pray for that Sacha. Okay, we should always go to the Ganpatis. Okay, similarly, in the Diwalis, like you have the Sacha to create that. Yes, what I said? Karanji. Okay, so until we have not created the Karanji, that Sacha is not useful. Okay, and as you created the Karanji, Sacha is not useful for you. Similarly, once the objects are created, that class is not useful to you guys. So that is what a very importance about the class and creating the object of that class. Okay, so hence next I can just go for how you can create the object of class. So here we have the new, okay, creating object of a class. Creating a object of a class. So creating object is very simple. Here I can write here class name, object name, object name is equals to new. It is very important keyword. And then we can write a class name. And here the bracket. So class name, object name is equal to new class name. Object name is equal to new class name. So in this way, yes, in this way, I can create a object of a class. I can create a object of a class like this.
Object class.
Yes. So this is what the single line statement I can say. This can be done by alternative way. Like for example, I can write a class name, object name. Okay, class name, object name. It creates only the variable. So here actual memory is not allocated. When memory is allocated, I have to go for the second step. Object name is equals to new. And then I can write here a class name. So these are the two separate ways actually. In this way, or I can see this one. So both are the same. See, new class name will create object. Okay, and then that means what it allocates the memory. New class name will allocate the memory, and whatever the memory get allocated, reference of that memory will be given to the object name. Okay, exactly same way. Here somewhere else we have created the one variable of type of class name. When new class name we have created, it allocates the memory. Okay, and reference of that one will be given to the object name. Okay, so let me explain this through the picture. So I just go to the paint one more time. Okay, and see, remember, like in the JVM we have the multiple types of a memory, but in that one we have the two important memories. In a JVM we have two important memories. One memory we call it as the stack. We have the one memory as a stack, and another one memory we call it as the heap. One memory is stack. So this line which I put it, this is the stack memory and this is the heap memory. Okay, so this stack memory is a static in nature, whereas this heap memory is more dynamic in nature. It is more dynamic in nature. So stack is a static, whereas this heap is a dynamic memory. That means what? It is get allocated at a runtime. Static memory is get allocated at a compile time itself, and dynamic memory is get allocated at a run time. So if dynamic memory is there, it is always been goes to the heap area, and if static memory is there, it always go to the stack area. And both the stack and heap belongs to the yes, I can say yes, both are from the JVM. So this is what the JVM's memory. Okay, or I can say this is what we can say random access memory, RAM. Both are from the RAM. So JVM memory or the RAM memory, stack and the heap. We have other two memories like a PC register is there. Okay, programmable region is there. So we will see that one later. But these are the two important memories. Okay. So when I was creating the object, for example, see, I have the employee. I have the employee. So in that one, if I write employee EMP, I can give any name. I can give EMP, employee EMP. If we have written like this one, employee EMP, somewhere else in the stack, it will create one variable. It will create one variable, and the name of that variable is nothing but the EMP. Okay. So this will use to hold the address. This is used to hold the address. Now when I am writing a EMP is equals to new. EMP is equal to new. Sorry, EMP is equals to new, and then I put it employee. If I am written like this one, EMP is equal to new employee. EMP is equal to new employee. That means that this is what the structure. See, class name is equal to new class name. So as I have written like this one, what this second line does, new employee will goes here in the heap, and it will allocate the memory according to the class structure. So what is there in the class? If you observe the class, in class we have the data member as a employee ID, employee name, and a salary. So according to that, it will create one block. It will create one, simply we can say block. In that block, we have the three structures, I can say, like one for employee ID, okay, one for name, okay, and another one for salary. So for example, I can say this is what employee ID, EID, okay, this is what I can say name, okay, and this is for a salary. This is for a salary. Okay, and whatever these memories get allocated, reference of that one is given here in the EMP. Okay, so this is what the dynamic memory, and this is what the local memory, static memory. Okay, so if you want to store the record, I can put here 101, 101. Yes, employee ID 101, name, I can say just Ram. Okay, and what is the salary? I can simply say it is the 60. It is the 60. So this is what the one object I created. Same way I can write here employee EMP2 is equals to new, and then I just put it employee. See, I have used the first way, that is in the single line itself. I tried employee EMP is input to is new employee. So again, if you write like this one, so what it will do, it will just go here, it will create another one block. Okay, name of that block is EMP. Yes, name of block is EMP2. Okay, and exactly same like this one, another one block will be get created. Now manke chal, the size of that one will be not same here for me, but assume like it is the same. So it will be created like this one section, second section, and a third section. So exactly same way here there will be a employee ID. Yes, then here there will be a name. Okay, and here that there will be a percentage. Salary. Sorry, there will be a salary. Okay, and if block is successfully created, reference of that block will be get assigned to EMP. Okay, likewise we can create multiple object, and in that one, see, I just put it a record 102. Okay, if I put it here a jam, yes, and then I have put it the salary as a 75. Okay, like this one. So this is what exactly when we have write the class and when we have created the object. So here I said like I said like class is a user defined data type. Class is a user defined data type. Why class is a user defined data type? See, if you guys remember about C++, integer num. What is num? Num is a variable of type integer. Num is a variable of type integer. Exactly same way I have written employee emp. What is emp? Emp is a variable of type employee. Emp is a variable of type employee, and what it is doing? It is referring the object of type employee. See, object is this one. This is the variable. Exactly same way, emp2 is a variable of type employee. emp2 is a variable of type employee, which is referring this one object. Which is referring this one object. And hence I said, you class is a user defined data type. See, integer is a standard data type, whereas employee I have created. So it is been created by user, and hence it is called as a user defined data type. It is, we call it as the user defined data type. Then I said it serves as a template. It serves as a sacha. It serves as a mold for creating multiple objects. So this object, all object which we have created, all the objects which we have created that are exactly similar to this class. That means that in this class there is employee ID, name and a salary. Okay, exactly same way here, employee ID, name and a salary, employee ID, name and a salary. That means that as many objects I create from the employee class, all having the employee ID, name and a salary, employee ID, name and a salary. So that is what the statement I have given here about the class. Class is a user defined data type which serves as a template, which serves as a mold or the structure for creating a multiple object. But very important thing is that all objects should have a similar type. So all these objects which I have created will have a similar structure. That means that सभी object का शक्ल सूरत same होगा. Clear guys? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good.
सर स्टॅटिक मध्ये EMP चे जे क्रिएट झालेलं आहे
If
त्याच्यात
static
data
is there,
काय
it is
असेल?
the different one. Static असेल तर वेगळं असतं, त्याला आपण पुढे गेलो पाहू.
स्टॅक मध्ये जे झालेलं आहे तयार मेमरी अलोकेशन
हा,
त्याच्यात काय असणार डेटा?
रेफरन्स ऑफ दिस वन. रेफरन्स